Hi, I'm Hadass. I could happily answer all three of these questions, but since I can only answer one, I choose to answer the second. If I were to take someone for the very first time to Israel, the one experience I'd love for them to have is to visit the Kotel in Jerusalem. The Kotel has this incredible ability to have an effect on all people who visit it, regardless of their race, religion, and background. Prior to my Birthright Israel trip visiting the Kotel, I was asked by a staff member to share a few words about my relationship to Jerusalem and the Kotel. I still have that note on my phone today from 2016, and it reads, as I entered the gates to what I knew to be the holiest place on earth, I guess my 9-year-old brain didn't quite understand what it really meant to visit Jerusalem for the very first time. A big wall, a bunch of tiny papers, and history that at the time probably didn't seem all that interesting to a third grader. All I can remember was at that moment I knew I was a part of something special. A nation and a people that will always be here for me and that inspires me every day to be a better human being and a better Jew. Although since then I have visited numerous times, 10 years later I stand here in this magical city and still get that same feeling as if it were yesterday. Every step I've taken towards the Kotel and every little note I've squished in between those tiny cracks have made me the person that I am today. With great pride and gratitude to Hashem, I am able to say that Israel will always be home to me and to the Jewish people, and my heart will forever lie in Jerusalem. After sharing my experience with several Birthright groups, I held the hands of my fellow participants who had never been to Israel before and walked with them to the wall they had only heard about in their sidurs and Hebrew schools. As Hebrew writer and Zionist leader Elchanan Lewinsky once said, "Without Jerusalem, the land of Israel is as a body without a soul." If I were taking someone to Israel for their very first time, my hope for them is to immerse themselves in all that the city of gold has to offer them. The connections that'll be made when one's hands first touch the wall is an indescribable sensation that only so many will ever have the luxury of experiencing.